Little bit of a delay coming into that game, but we move, we vibe. Midpoint of the day, game number 3 again. Extraordinaire finished, like they can go home now. They can turn their PCs off. It's fine. Boxed. Closing in on that point. Maybe not there just yet. But the third place teams is where the focus has to lie. Without a shadow of a doubt. Just seen an admin type the message. We will start the game in 2 minutes, so the man has not had internal communications, it seems. No immediate hot drops to be cited, but Husey. Now, I would be lying if I would say this would be the first time we've seen a bit of a tangle between Titan Foxy and the Charm Farmers in this very spot, in fact. An interesting spot it is as well, given its position in the zone. Bam, remember to press the ads button so that people don't get pre-rolls. Fantastic work. Well done. Top streamer. Husey steals away the vehicle. Pre-roll ads disabled for 63 minutes. Come on, let's go. We did it. Your sacrifice was not in vain. Well done, everyone. So, go Doc, a central position. The Jack boys will be happy to see that. They've been doing pretty solidly when it comes down to some of the engagements that they've had. I think it's fair to say that for more or less the majority of any lobby in APAC, the problem is consistency. Sometimes they come out looking pretty solid. Sometimes it doesn't quite go their way. Something that we could definitely say for this squad as well. Didn't get to see much of their lovely little logo, unfortunately, in game number 2, after getting completely wiped out in the hot drop by Fragile early on. Oh, that's not good either. Leon's has just disconnected. Is he in the car? Yes. No? No. Where is he? Ah. He was already disconnected. Okay, understandable. Very fortunate spot to have disconnected in, because I mean if you drop on there you would die. And thankfully not quite deep enough to have drowned, so you know, you might get back in. You might get back in. We'll see. Here it comes again. Titan Foxy doing the classic Titan Foxy maneuver. Loot one gun and just run it whoever's the closest. Uzi got a little fortunate, I think, on his timing of just dipping out. Pops over the bridge in the vehicle. But I think if Husey did end up having a shot or two come in his direction and identified that this is just a single player, he would be more than happy to commit to taking the fight. Assuming, of course, that survives the first few few seconds of the engagement, I suppose. Not really a committed bridge camp attempt from PUBG and friends, just putting some distant shots in towards boxed as they make their rotation. Egoist art, cops a headshot in the midst of all of it, but nothing more. Now this might be an issue. This is the double bridge, of course, so you can rotate up above or down below. Red Sea are taking the low ground option, which inadvertently has worked out in their favor, as Joff is up on the high ground, but he heard the one car go by. Now he's anticipating when he'll hear the next, but is he going to be impatient and just take some Hail Mary shots? No. And now he sees the rest of the cars coming. There's got to be a spray somewhere in the mix here. There it is. APAC will be the target of choice. He gets some good damage in. Half health dealt. But that'll be all it is. Off here alone. But for now. And actually, Super Dean has turned back around and turned the tables a little bit. Now Extraordinaire will find themselves in a potential bridge camped situation. But maybe not before CCAC will run into the same problem. This does not look like an angle in which they're going for the lower bridge. This looks like they're going for the top level bridge, if they're going for a bridge at all just yet. I hope for their sake that they're not. Didn't put any shots in towards Kid X as he makes his move. Super Dean is still lurking towards the edge of the bridge. He's got some information. I think that was on towards Morning Coffee. He still spotted the leg, so he knows that Joff and Kid X still around that area. Another team on the way in as well. Breakwater from the south. That is the one major issue that Tego has. If you have a zone like this where it forces a lot of teams to cross this river, options are very limited outside of the obvious emergency parachute. Has not seemingly identified that there's been a swimmer across and could get caught out. TinDD is creeping and peeking, but Gur's checking all the angles. Oh, there it is. It had to happen eventually. He's just going to dip out. The rest of the Charm Farmer's not really in a position to back them up. Breakwater have pulled up and been sat down. Grove with the M16, a double headshot though. Will respond on Totola. Both should be able to get the revives, but the issue is Extraordinaire have heard gunshots nearby. And you know what that means. Time to shift W them, boys. Even with long range shots, Aoki efficient with the DMRs. 12 damage will be an acceptable consequence. More teams coming across. Breakwater going on the low ground underneath the bridge. Really able to call that out. Axel is pretty low hit points. Hey, good job T5. Get that chicken dinner, boys. Come on. Woo! Anyway. PUBG, please give us the option to turn off those messages. Thank you very much. Where's my traces? I should have traces, but they're not on. Is our man still here? Somewhere? Yeah. Unfortunate. Can't play them all, I suppose. Morning Coffee copying some damage. Seems about normal that you have a teammate just hopping around dancing on top of a roof and you're the one inside a little shack and you're the one getting peppered. See? Deleted by Juice, though. Juice cops another headshot. Helmet popped off completely. Your type looking to finish off this push on towards box. The revive hasn't come through yet onto Sevi. Not sure it will, actually, with the smoke in that position. It's a sketchy run to have to try and make. No, won't get a chance. Vortex, he stole that from there. Oh my. He got the knock as well, I think. He's definitely already low. But that was a solid, what, 600 meters? We'll have to check the stats later on. Longest kill distance. Shao Def, the off-angle warlord this time around. taking the how position. Still aware that Super Dean is on the ridge, but it's CCAT Gaming that is the problem, more so for the time being. Oh boy. No way this goes poorly, right? Oh, what a fat double nade. That is huge from Kenny. Double pre-nade from Kenny. Kitty just has to chase it down. Hands over low hit points. Just have to hit a bullet or two, and that will be job done. Not your type eliminated. What a disgusting nade from Kenny. Didn't really catch it that well on camera, but you caught the effect. What happens when you've got a singular observer, you know? Rough out here. Kidex. Not making a move. Is he going back to pick up Shaudev? They were sharing a car before. McKelly. The fortunate timing, good positioning could cause some problems here for Extraordinaire. There's also a little bit of team killing over for Tenax. I think Shoehorse copped an unfortunate disconnect. I would very much have liked for him to still be alive, especially now as they're making this push in. Invis held his nerve, didn't fire a shot. That's our positive way of saying ratted. And might get a kill out of it if Yarabara Badingi takes a step or two too far out into the open. Is he moving? Thinking about it. Oh no. Oh no, he's running away. What about a freebie? Where are you going? Maybe this is the Charm Farmers thinking they don't want to give anything up. They don't want to lose any more points. They know that top 3 is such an important position and important prize. The Red Sea is losing out as Extraordinaire managed to bypass most of the bridge camp. Get behind them. Mr. Flank and APAC both cleaned up. Joff down low, but Super Dean up above. They forget about him. He wasn't able to get the vault. Unfortunate animation. He tried. Missile under the vehicle. One more bullet will do it. Gets the heal off in time. On the other side of the rock. It's fine. His own grenade, putting pressure on Apsy. Really tunneling up, funneling up. Grove couldn't get the heal off in time. Juice X. Hey, yo, what are we doing under here? Hello, let me go up. Please, thank you, video game. Very cool. My spacebar button does not want to send us up, so free cam just got hard mode. That's cool. That's because it's E. Got it. Wow. See, this is what I meant when I said Tego zones are a little whack. We're in phase 3 and we've shifted towards the river, which has actually left us with kind of like a, I'd say like 65-35 split of north and south of the river. Aoki's lost 2 of his tires, but honestly in this car it doesn't really matter. It can drive just fine. Even better. Just replace it, I suppose. New for Ikigai. I mean, you would hope to have a scope at this point in the game, but you can hit that shot without it. I'd love to see it. Doesn't seem as though he can, though. Tenax will eventually get flanked on this eastern tip of Palace, but it won't be by the Charm Farmers. Invis has actually completely bypassed and gone the entirely other way as Titan Foxy, whoa, just came flying out of nowhere. The Goon Squad in the bus, in the border truck. Zero has to get it done one-on-one with Rye, gets a hand on the revive, but gets off in time. He got the 4K. Who's the real god of one-man squad? Impressive stuff from Rye. Hand on the revive, risky to do it, but just hops off. Bin 0, 2K2. Goldenair. Finally looking like this might not be a game that they're just going to completely dominate. Two of them already down, but they're still going down fighting on multiple fronts. Kid X with the off angle. Never playing particularly close as a full unit, but even when they're down as half strength, they're still pushing their luck on positions. I mean, they have really nothing to lose at this point. They're a reason to really play with any sort of precaution. Making a whole lot of noise. Shao Def capitalizing, and Tragic's almost getting the final drop. Will, at the very least, take him down. We'll get the flush as well. A little bit of help from his own teammate in grabbing the flush, actually. Kid X's blue zone nade to absorb a little bit of space. Boxed, making a move in this direction as well. Will that be close enough to deny the revive? No. Kid X is flashbang over the top, but he's playing this a little bit slow. The time for Box to make the push is coming, but not before Kid X cleans them both up as well. Well, you almost saw the panic as the shots came in from behind. He thought it was job done, but it was game over for Legionnaires. Kid X got the better of them. Box cleaned it up. And now the push onto Fragile. GG bet. Far away, but DMR shots are still hitting, but they won't do anything to prevent his teammates getting completely flushed out. Goffey turning their attention back. Husey just gets sat down. Zone has sensibly gone towards the north, I suppose, but there was a possibility that it could have gone back down south and then we'd have a real fiesta on our hands. Good grenade, actually, for Peony Dotsy. We'll have to go back and grab God of One Man Squad back up. If this was One Man Squads, he would have died twice. So, make of that what you will. Fragile finally cleaned up. The last team to make their cross over the river. We see Kak. Magnu is under some pressure from the opposite side of the river. From Seakak. Now it's God of One Man Squad's turn to grab the revive. It's not easy to make this push onto the Jack boys. These multi-crate drops are just wild. And the unfortunate reality of staying on the opposite side of the river as long as this. Actually, Crazy 9 stole one of them away. All grabbed the other. So McKelly actually came over in a boat. Didn't even swim. Okay. Aoki make something happen from the shack, or will he just keep his head down for now? There is a little bit of a dip just next to him by the crossroads that he might opt to try and play. Maybe McKelly will creep his way up towards that later on. Good angle for morning coffee. Down on towards Boxed on the low ground. A Vortex off to the southwest as well. Holding back on the shots for the time being. As the rest of his squad engages into Vortex. A quick little peek. Won't get it done. Sadgul, again, just a slight overextension. Trying to hold a little bit too much space. Jeff has crept up around to the far high ground. Pushes him out, will take him down. Nades flying through now. As Boxed is actually helping out pretty heavily with the push as Vortex are looking to make a play up onto the high ground. The grenades are coming through, but it's the third-party shots from Boxed that's the real issue. I don't think it's particularly safe to go for this revive. Blue zone nade in hand, but the smoke's not quite in the right place. But okay, covering fire from Haring Pack on the low ground. They are able to get both of these revives. In fact, the blue zone nades don't quite make it far enough down the hill. Again, Boxed is the problem. Haring Pack smoked off. Crazy 9 did spot them out into the smoke. Rapid fire taps from the mini. Landing. Now we're getting like the full hot drop experience in Palace, it looks like. Dusky on the move to grab Jeff, get him back in the fight. Dusky with the mutant again. We saw a little hint of this yesterday. Got to admit, it was better than anticipated. Crazy 9 up close. Over the top of the rock. In between the trees. It looked good. The first one. Kicks. Keeping himself out of the position for the time being, and even though he's under all that pressure, still gets the better. Heart down below. Once again, the last man standing for Vortex. Both of these squads under a lot of pressure. Alice has been like full shifted away from. Egoist. Cleans up one of the solos. Crazy 9 on his way to try and clean up the second. He hears him. He knows he's on this rock. And it's bold to go for the full 1v1, but he gets the better of it. Maybe Box can try and close that gap to, what, like a mere 40 points between themselves and first place? Again, doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. What's more important is the teams that are looking to make that push into the top 3. Currently it's 10x holding on to that, but they're outside the zone. They have to get through the Charm Farmers. Only one singular point behind them. This engagement right here, when this comes to, is going to be a big one. If it comes to, because 10x might have other ideas. Hopping in the vehicle. What kind of dips are they cooking? It's not in the zone. They are actually looking to maybe push in towards Palace somewhat. Yeah, they know there's a team there. Hopefully they would have known already, but those shots gave it away. If not, at least doubled down what they already knew. Red Sea as well, the longer that Aoki can survive, he's just tied on the same amount of points as Charm Farmers. Let's not forget that. So if you can rat out up into maybe a top 4, don't go for it. It's so tempting, but you will die if you go for that. You might get 1 point out of it. That'll be all. Problem is, he has to do something. The zone is right about here, so he has to make a move. Maybe even if it's just creeping forwards into the bushes, something like that. The push, in fact, has come around from 10x. They've gone wide around the zone and actually taken down 2 of Box in quick succession. Egoist maybe looking to get some covering fire over the top, but Ikigai is just bullying him. big points picked up, big points secured for Tenax. A lot of bodies that they can grab some loot from. Maknu out in the open. Just about dips down into a dip of his own. Ikigai have cleaned up. McKelly. Aoki is playing this very patiently. Big Boy's still technically alive as well. They're the next closest behind the Charm Farmers to the top 3. A lot of the teams that are still really in contention are surviving pretty deep into this game. But for how much longer, who knows? Ikigai. Is this a potential late push as well? 9 points on the board. That puts them right up there on 40 points, just on kills alone. If they can get a win here, they might become a leapfrog maneuver into the top 3 position. I think every single one of these teams is still in a very solid spot, maybe with the exception of PUBG and Friends. We're down in 15th place at the start of this game, but he says it's too late. Could still make a run. Yarabara Badengi, edge of the blue zone. It's definitely what you would call a suicide position, but it gets one quick knock and maybe a second. Oh, almost got the tag on the legs, but the off angle from Peony Dotsy came through in time. Aoki was trying to creep his way forwards. He's already gone. He's already dead. You can stop. You killed him already. Didn't quite make the move onto Peony Dotsy in time. And Dusky cleaned up by Ikigai as well. 12 kills now, and the top 4. Ikigai definitely making a late run. With 4 players still alive, revivable onto right. Could be a huge swinging factor on who's going to be in our top 3 by the end of this game. Popcorn. I forgot about him. I know there's a solo lurking. Doesn't seem so. I can't imagine Maka would be making a run like this if he knew the danger that lurks. If he goes low, if he peeks this wall, he really is in danger. Wow. One of those that, what reason would you ever have to look at this spot for the Charm Farmers? But Invis, hold on. God, that is so hard to spot from here. Like, you would never know, would you? From players' height POV, you simply would not know. And he doesn't even need to make a move just yet because the fight between Charm Farmers and PUBG and Friends is threatening to kick off. EJ is just watching the back line, making sure that Ikigai is not taking the opportunity while these shots are being exchanged to make a push. So the Phase 9 is going to be just outside the Palace wall. PUBG and Friends can stay in this position up on the rooftop for as long as possible. Huge factor. Oh no, Maka! He's been ganked. Popcorn's taken down 2. He is finally cleaned up by Invis, but in taking him back out, it's a 2-point kill, but it costs Charm Farmer so much more than that, surely. Great angle though for Cybos. Now that they know that everything within the palace walls is taken care of, they can fully focus their attention onto Ikigai. Quick pick onto God of One Man Squad. He needs an extra bullet or 2 to secure the flush. Otherwise the revive can come through, and through the tree line he can't quite get it. This tiny little ridge doing a lot of hard work. They will get back up to 4 men apiece. Now, the zone ending right about here. It's much more favorable for PUBG and Friends. As soon as these ridges are out of the equation. Bad news for Ikigai. And that is a huge chunk onto Magnu. He hops in the car. It looks like they're just making a Hail Mary. Bit of a send play. Kenny J. Don't pre-fire grenade this time, but Cyboss might have just knocked one-man squad. Oh! He almost did it for him. The nade almost took down Magnu. The explosion of the vehicle. The DMR spam from range. It's all the way over. Hello? Cyboss. Hello. You saw the car, no? Oh, well. It's done. PUBG and Friends 20-point game. Listen, we said it's not too late, potentially, for any of these teams. PUBG and Friends came into this with 16 points. This win puts them on 36. And that was only about 10 points behind where 10X was in third place coming into the start of this game. One more game like that in the final two, and it could well be enough to climb them in towards the top three. But there is one really big hurdle in the way, and that is the fact that the team that was wiped out in second place, Ikigai, 12 kills and a second place as well, 49 points in total they're now on. We will have to see exactly where that ends up leaving them. One thing's for sure, the fact that Extraordinaire got dropped out pretty early in this game does not change a damn thing about how close this lobby is going to be. Those top three spots are all important. That's all that matters for all these teams. And the fight for them has been pretty damn intense. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back with our angle in just a few minutes. See you then.